the border area between California and Mexico. Jill was chasing another sports car in her sports car. "Jill, how's it going? Can you catch up?" Natasha's voice came from inside the car. "It's a bit difficult. This car isn't modified after all. You'd have to risk your life," Jill said helplessly. "Don't risk your life, or your husband will tear down our headquarters," Natasha chuckled. Jill rolled her eyes in exasperation. Just then, a sharp turn appeared ahead. Jill knew that this turn was the key to forcing the sports car in front to stop. After consuming an improved version of NZT, Jill went into overdrive, flooring the accelerator and opening the window to feel the wind and humidity. Then she moved her hands and feet together, executing a perfect drift. Jill caught up with the sports car in front, and then slammed it into the cliff on the side with an American-style stop. "Done, we've intercepted it." Just as Jill finished speaking, a Quinjet fighter jet appeared in the sky and stopped by the roadside. Natasha got out of the fighter jet, and the two beautiful women went to the sports car. With a strong pull, they opened the deformed car door and dragged the old man out of the passenger seat. "Is it him?" "That's right, he's a nuclear weapons engineer. We can't let him go to Mexico. Otherwise, the drug traffickers there could use that to build a nuclear bomb, and then the world would be in danger. This task is too easy. You could handle it all by yourself." "Why do you need us?" Jill asked, puzzled. "Coulson took the wrong one. We can handle this request, but since you've already taken it, let's complete it together," Natasha said with a smile. Even Jill felt for the first time that Coulson was so unreliable. Suddenly, she sensed something and shoved Natasha away. The force of the impact caused her to fall to the other side, and a bullet shot between the two of them into the cliff. "Sniper!" Jill shouted. Natasha quickly pulled the unconscious nuclear weapons engineer behind the cliff. Neither of them could peek out now. If they did, they would likely be shot by a sniper. "Can you control the Quinjet fighters to break through the encirclement?" "We can give it a try." Natasha took out the controller and began to operate the Quinjet fighter jet to search for the sniper. But after searching around, she found nothing, which puzzled the two of them. At that moment, a figure appeared in front of the two of them, and before Natasha could react, a bullet pierced her stomach. "Natasha, I'm fine, just be careful," Natasha said, forcing herself to endure the pain. Jill immediately drew her gun and fired, but the man's agility made it impossible for Jill to lock onto him. With no other option, Jill dropped her gun and fought back. "It's the Winter Soldier, Jill, be careful," Natasha shouted as soon as she saw who it was. Jill nodded and then began close combat with the newcomer. However, to Jill's surprise, the newcomer had also been enhanced and even had a metal arm, so Jill quickly fell into a disadvantageous position. Under pressure from the Winter Soldier, Jill's telekinesis was activated, and with the help of telekinesis, she was able to force the Winter Soldier to retreat. At this moment, Natasha stood up again, drew her pistol, and fired several shots at the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier immediately raised his metal arm to block the bullet, but the impact still forced him to stagger backward. Seeing this, Jill roared and used telekinesis to create a giant hammer, which slammed down heavily on the Winter Soldier. The powerful force sent him flying dozens of meters backward. This didn't come without a price. Jill bled from all 7 orifices, but she was mostly unharmed, as it was simply due to overusing her telekinetic powers. "Jill, are you all right?" "Let's go quickly," Natasha said, clutching her stomach. Jill nodded, and then the two helped the nuclear weapons engineer into the Quinjet. Just as they were closing the hatch, a metal arm grabbed it, and then the Winter Soldier slid out of the hatch. Natasha then picked up a bandage and wrapped it around her gunshot wound, then set the autopilot to automatic mode and joined Jill in fighting the Winter Soldier. Even together, the two of them could not withstand the Winter Soldier's fierce attacks. The Winter Soldier delivered a powerful kick that sent Jill flying, followed by a spinning kick that sent Natasha sprawling. Both fell to the ground simultaneously, with Jill even spitting out a mouthful of blood. "Natasha, are you all right?" Jill asked as she struggled to her feet. Natasha struggled to her feet, only to witness the Winter Soldier kill the nuclear weapons engineer with a single shot, then forcefully break open the hatch and jump from the fighter jet. "I never expected that my first solo commission would fail." Jill and Natasha struggled to sit up. These things are normal. No commission can be completed with a 100% success rate. Natasha was in no better shape. Her bandages were soaked in blood, and her face was covered in bruises. The two women huddled together until the Quinjet landed at the Tri-Wing building. The medical team helped them down and provided emergency treatment, as they knew Jill's identity and were afraid that Li Qingyue might suddenly cause a scene. However, compared to Natasha, Jill was actually fine, just a little exhausted. At that moment, a portal appeared in Jill's hospital room, and then Li Qingyue walked out of it. "Ed, what brings you here?" Jill asked in a low voice, her head drooping. "Why did I come here? Are you all right?" Li Qingyue sat on the hospital bed, holding Jill's hand and speaking softly. It's nothing, it's just that this mission failed, and I'm sorry for embarrassing you. It's okay, it's just one failure. Li Qingyue continued to comfort her. But Jill was still not very interested, so Li Qingyue had no choice but to change the subject. By the way, who is the enemy who hurt you? I don't know him, but Natasha says he's the Winter Soldier. Do you know him? So it was him. Looks like I need to teach them a lesson. You take good care of your injuries. I'm going to find Fury. Li Qingyue's face darkened. He insisted that Jill rest while he got up and headed to Fury's office. Li Qingyue pushed open the door to Fury's office. Director Fury turned to look at Li Qingyue, his expression darkening slightly. What's wrong? I have something to tell you. Is it safe here? Safety. Never mind, come here. Director Fury frowned and leaned closer. Li Qingyue whispered something in his ear and then left, leaving Fury looking incredulous. China, Dongguan Province. In a private laboratory, a man stared fervently at the petri dish in front of him, muttering repeatedly, I did it. I finally did it. At Yunbai Airport, a luxury private jet landed, and Richard disembarked alone. A middle-aged Asian man quickly came to greet him. Excuse me, is this Mr. Richard? I am. Hello, I am Chen Tian, your guide. Please follow me. Richard nodded, then followed Chen Tian out of the airport and got into a luxury car. As for why Richard didn't directly use the system's teleportation to reach China, it was a decision he made after careful consideration. After all, China is different from other small countries. The level of intelligence here is very high. In addition, if a foreign child were walking alone on the street, he would easily be questioned, and if there was no record, he would be sent back to his country. Therefore, in order to ensure the smooth progress of my commission, I have no choice but to go through the normal procedures to enter China. Young Master Richard, according to our intelligence, we have located Dr. Jaison's location, but it's not easy to get close to, Chen Tian said while driving. Why? Because that area is part of a military base, and my identity is somewhat special. I am not allowed to get close. Not only me, but anyone who has contact with me or has a relationship with me is also not allowed to go near there. I am really sorry. It's all right, but could you get me a floor plan of that area? Of course, no problem. Chen Tian quickly drove the car to a villa. He got out of the car and respectfully opened Richard's car door, like a servant. However, when Richard opened the door, he found a middle-aged woman and a girl who looked about 15 or 16 years old in the room. Chen, who are they? What are you doing here? I'm sorry, Mr. Richard. These are my wife and daughter. I didn't know they would be here. I'm so sorry, please let them go. Chen, I feel like I don't have a very good impression of you. I'm not that bloodthirsty. Just treat me like a friend's son. Don't get so worked up. Richard quickly explained when he saw Chen Tian's expression. Yes, Mr. Richard, it's mainly your father who has put too much pressure on me. I'm sorry. It's okay. Where is my room? I'd like to rest for a bit first, and then please prepare a map for me. Yes, Mr. Richard, please follow me. However, as Richard passed by the two men, he politely greeted them. The two men seemed to realize that they had done something wrong and quickly replied to Richard. When Chen Tian came down, he glared at them with uncontrollable rage. Su Hui, what exactly are you trying to do? Do you know that you almost killed us? Dad, you can't blame Mom. It's all your fault. You've been so secretive all the time, making Mom think you were having an affair. That's why she followed you and found out you actually own a villa here, the girl beside her said, defending her mother. This villa doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the big boss behind me, and his power is terrifying. If he wants, we can disappear from this world without a trace at any time. Do you understand? Chen Tian said in a low voice. Upon hearing of the severe consequences, both mother and daughter were filled with regret, but it was too late. Is there any way we can salvage this? It's all right. As you all saw, young Master Richard is very easy to talk to. Since you're all here, you can stay here and serve young Master Richard. I still have to go and help him with his work. I know, Dad. I will take good care of him, the girl said, blushing. What are you thinking? I really mean you have to serve him well. That's the official meaning. Can't you think about something serious? The girl stuck out her tongue awkwardly, and then Chen Tian left. A few hours later, Richard came out of the room. Young Master Richard, you're awake. Here's the map you requested and dinner. The girl quickly came forward and said respectfully to Richard. Richard said somewhat awkwardly, just treat me normally. I'm not used to it. Ah, yes, Mr. Richard. The girl was a little surprised, but this only proved that Richard was indeed as Chen Tian had said, quite easy to talk to. Richard arrived at the restaurant, picked up a map to look at, and ate his dinner with chopsticks. After he finished eating, he said to the girl, Could you please prepare a small motorcycle for me? Also, please let Chen know that I will leave after I finish my work. See you again sometime. Okay. Soon the car was ready, and Richard didn't waste any words. He drove straight to the mission location and quickly saw the sentry post. In order not to alert the enemy and not to implicate Chintian, he threw the motorcycle into the river and then quietly sneaked into the private laboratory, the location of his mission target, Dr. Jazorn. However, this laboratory has tight security. The main entrance alone has a dynamic alarm system and an infrared alarm. To enter from the front, he would have to be able to teleport. But this was no challenge for Richard. He went to the electrical box and, using a homemade machine, modified the two alarm systems, keeping them on but disabling their alarm function, so he could swagger in. Using the machine he developed, Richard finally arrived at Dr. Jazorn's laboratory. After cracking the code, the laboratory door was opened, but when he entered, he found his target, Dr. Jazorn, lying in a pool of blood. Chow, has this mission failed? Richard approached the corpse, and just as he was about to touch it, the previously deceased Dr. Gizwan grabbed his hand, placed a USB drive in it, and prepared to die. Richard seized the opportunity and teleported him back to the agency. As soon as the teleportation was completed, Dr. Gizwan completely lost consciousness. This should count as completing the mission, right? Richard scratched his head and then contacted someone from S.H.I.E.L.D. to come over. I guess that counts as done. I had just arrived when he was murdered. He was still alive when I brought him back here. Of course it counts. By the way, did Dr. Jazorn give you anything before he died? The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent asked. Yes, it is this USB drive. It has been returned to its rightful owner. You can take his body with you as well. My request is now complete. Okay, Mr. Fisk. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent called his helpers, who moved the body away and cleaned up the bloodstains on the ground before leaving. Richard quickly returned to his house. Somalia. In this chaotic country, Connor, along with Tom and Jerry, suddenly appeared out of nowhere. The three of them accepted different commissions, but the mission locations were all in the same place. For example, Connor's mission is to rescue a bacteriologist belonging to S.H.I.E.L.D., who led his team here in order to develop an antiviral serum for the Ebola virus. But his identity was exposed, leading to his capture by local pirates who demanded a huge ransom from S.H.I.E.L.D. For the safety of this bacteriology expert, they had to raise funds. Connor's job was to give the money to the pirates and rescue the bacteriology expert safely. S.H.I.E.L.D. would handle the rest. Tom's mission is with the same pirate crew that stole a safe. The contents of this safe are very important to S.H.I.E.L.D., so Tom must bring the safe back. Jerry's mission is the same as Tom's, to bring back something. However, what he brings back is a nuclear warhead with a yield of 20 kilotons. To put that in perspective, the little boy's yield is only 15 kilotons. You can imagine how dangerous this nuclear warhead is. Coulson originally intended to merge the three commissions into one, but after Walter argued his case, the commission was ultimately split into three. Are you ready? Connor asked, looking down at Tom and Jerry. The two children nodded, and they changed into clothes similar to James Bond's, even accompanied by the classic James Bond theme from the 007 series movies. All right, stop messing around, Connor said helplessly. You see, he would rather bring Richard or Walter than these two guys, mainly because they are just too troublesome. Only Li Qingyue can control these two little guys. No one else can. But no matter how much trouble he caused, there was nothing Connor could do. Soon they drove to the pirate group's stronghold, a small seaside town. The town has a permanent population of over 20,000, of which more than 1,000 are members of this pirate gang. The reason why this pirate gang chose the town as its base is to use these 10,000 ordinary people as a shield. With them around, other countries would have to think twice before attacking them. And although they only had a little over 1,000 pirates, they made the town impregnable. So when Connor appeared, the pirates knew of his existence. Are you here to pay the ransom? Yes, I'm here to pay the ransom, Connor said expressionlessly. Come with us, the pirate carrying an AK said arrogantly. Under his guidance, Connor saw the bacteriologist, who now looked somewhat flustered, but showed no physical abnormalities. You've seen the person, now pay up and you can leave. One person? Where are the others? Your money is only enough to take him away. Either pay more, or don't take anyone with you. Connor's expression remained unchanged as he walked over, grabbed the bacteria expert, and left. My students are still here, please save them. They can't be left here, please. Come with me first. Hey old man, I'll give you 1 day. Either pay up and take your students with you, or we'll gladly accept them as our own, ha 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 ha. Hearing the devilish laughter behind him, the germ expert's face turned ashen, and he gripped Connor's arm tightly. Don't worry, I'll get them out, Connor said expressionlessly. Please. As the two left the pirate crew's base, Connor immediately contacted S.H.I.E.L.D., and a combat team arrived quickly. After taking the germ specialist away, Connor turned and headed back towards the pirate base. The pirates at the gate smiled when they saw Connor, knowing he had come to pay the ransom. What, you figured it out, right? Give us the money, and we'll return your people to you. Isn't that a win-win situation? Connor slowly raised his head, and the pirates present were so frightened by his eyes filled with red light that they dared not move. It was as if they were facing a giant beast from ancient times, and the instincts hidden in their blood made them unable to move. Connor coldly told Tom and Jerry, "Take the nuclear bomb, the safe, and the hostages away." Tom and Jerry exchanged a glance, realizing that Connor was truly angry. They stopped their antics, nodded to him, and then walked through the wall into the base. Connor then began his massacre. Every time he killed a pirate, red energy would rise from his body. As the number of dead increased, the energy in his body became more and more abundant, even reaching the critical point of going out of control. Tom and Jerry, along with a group of hostages, a safe, and a nuclear warhead, anxiously waited outside for Connor. Not long after, Connor emerged from the pirate base, his clothes riddled with bullet holes and covered in blood. The hostages were terrified and trembled at the sight. Tom and Jerry immediately ran over. "Don't worry, I'm fine. We need to go back. I feel like I'm losing control a bit," Connor said, looking somewhat flustered. Seeing this, Tom and Jerry immediately called the hostages over, and then everyone formed a circle. As for the safe and the nuclear warhead, Tom had obviously hidden them, but even Li Qingyue didn't know where they were. With a flash of white light, everyone appeared in the agency. As soon as Connor appeared, Li Qingyue and Constantine went into the agency and looked at Connor with furrowed brows. "Where is this?" a girl asked, trembling. "Excuse me, this is Marvel Studios. You are currently in Hell's Kitchen in New York City. I have already called S.H.I.E.L.D. to come over. Please rest for a bit, and someone will come to pick you up soon." "You are safe now," Li Qingyue reassured them. "Thank you. It's okay, Jerry. Just share your snacks with them." Jerry nodded, then followed Tom back to their den, pulled out a huge pile of snacks, and gave them to the hostages. A short while later, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents arrived and took away the safe, the nuclear warhead, and the hostages. "Connor, are you all right?" After everyone left, Li Qingyue quickly asked. "I don't know the boss, it feels very strange." "Constantine, can you tell what the problem is?" "His hellish energy has begun to affect his thinking. Although he still listens to us, his every word and action is influenced by the hellish energy, turning him into a bloodthirsty being," Constantine said helplessly after seeing it clearly. "Is there a way to solve this?" "Yes, cultivate your mind and body. Try not to use hellish energy, or complete your evolution as soon as possible, specifically a mental evolution. This is somewhat difficult because it requires a lot of energy." Constantine directly offered 2 solutions. "I know what to do," Connor said. "Don't worry, we'll help you too. If we find the demons, we'll spare their lives so you can seize their hellish energy. After all, you're my employee, and we won't let anything happen to you." "Thank you, boss." "All right, do we need to say all this?" "Go and rest. You don't need to do any more commissions until this matter is resolved. I'll go find someone who needs an exorcism." A month later, thanks to the combined efforts of Walter, Jill, Richard, and Tom Jerry, the group finally completed all the commissions provided by S.H.I.E.L.D. During this time, Li Qingyue also helped complete some other commissions. In short, after these tasks were completed, the system was upgraded again, leaving behind an upgrade gift pack before disappearing back into the open. What Li Qingyue wanted was this upgrade gift pack. He opened the upgrade gift pack, and several orbs of light appeared inside. Li Qingyue clicked on each of these orbs one by one. Agency Upgrade Card. Use this card to upgrade your agency to a Mustard Seed Summer level agency. 1 ton of Impact Steel, a demonic metal from the world of Devil May Cry. Vending Machine Upgrade Coupon. After use, you can use points to refresh the existing products. Each employee has different products available. Storage Bag. Adds 10 storage slots upon use. Bloodline Upgrade Card. This card can be used to upgrade the user's bloodline. It is recommended to use it when the bloodline has been upgraded to its maximum level. Li Qingyue first used the Vending Machine Upgrade Coupon and Storage Bag. After the vending machine shook, its shape changed from plastic to black, and the colors also became more varied. Then Li Qingyue said to everyone, "Next, the moment of miracle is about to happen." After saying that, I clicked to use the agency upgrade card, but nothing happened. The atmosphere suddenly became somewhat awkward. Li Qingyue kept calling out to the system in his mind, hoping to get a reasonable explanation. "Boss, what about the changes you mentioned?" Walter asked, barely suppressing a laugh. Li Qingyue walked toward the door with a dark expression, but when he actually reached the door, he was stunned. "Come out and see." The group walked out of the main gate with a puzzled look, only to find themselves in a pure white space. About 100 meters in front of them was a door that looked exactly like the office door. Li Qingyue looked at the door and waved it gently, and the door was pulled closer to the group. Everyone swallowed hard and stepped out of the door, only to find themselves back on the street. It was then that Li Qingyue realized what the system meant by Mustard Seed Mount Sumeru. Walter, quickly get some equipment to test the oxygen content, gas levels, temperature, and so on in that space. See if there are any problems. Then Connor, you measure how big that space is. Constantine, put up the closed for business sign. Hurry, everyone get moving, Li Qingyue said excitedly. Seeing this, the others quickly got to work. Walter and Constantine took out the necessary instruments, while Connor began to measure the size of the space. After working for almost half a day, everyone finally got results. Connor, tell me first, how big is this space? Boss, I measured it. It's about 100,000 square meters, roughly the size of 10 football fields. Phew, not bad, this size is sufficient. How's your research going, Walter? Boss, we've tested it here, and the time flow rate is the same. At the same time, the humidity and temperature are synchronized with the area we are in. I suspect that if it rains outside, it will also rain in this space. Finally, the air content is similar to that of the Earth, but the air here is not as polluted. The air quality is similar to that of the Amazon rainforest. Very good. Our next task is to transform this space. Walter, didn't you want a piece of land to grow blood orchids? This is just right for you to grow blood orchids. However, you will need to provide the soil and water yourself. No way, boss, when will that be? Walter yelled. But Constantine is here, right? You can just have him open a portal, and all you need is an excavator and a dump truck. Isn't that enough? You're the boss, you make the decisions. Li Qingyue smiled and then asked, by the way, are you planning to stay here or continue living in the apartment building? Connor looked at Walter. Walter looked at Constantine, and Constantine looked at Connor, forming a closed loop. Answer quickly, are you staying here or in an apartment building? Stay here. I'm planning to convert the apartment building into a dormitory for some kids, Connor said. Child? What child? Li Qingyue asked, puzzled. I do know a little about this. There was an orphanage in Queens that was exposed as having a director who was the head of a human organ trafficking organization. He adopted these orphans so that he could sell their organs. However, after being exposed by reporters, the director ran away. The orphans took the opportunity to run to Hell's Kitchen. They no longer trusted the government or anyone else. Connor helped them solve some minor problems before, and that's how we met. So where do they live now? It seems to be inside the sewers. Fine, whatever you want to do, Li Qingyue said with a sigh. A hint of surprise flashed in Connor's eyes, but Li Qingyue needed to deal with things here first. So he directly overlapped the main door of the firm with the door leading to this space, and then opened a door at the back of the firm, through which everyone entered the firm space. After doing all that, Walter started making contact with people, and that person was Naya, the girl Connor and the others had previously gone to exorcise. She was a geographer herself, and her father was a mine owner, so she had all the soil that Walter needed. In addition, Naya had a very high level of affection for Connor, so she was willing to help. It can be said that with her help, the speed at which everyone built the space was able to be faster. Divider line. Washington, D.C. Washington Dam hides a secret base, which was recently established by Director Fury, so it appears rather rudimentary. Its only advantage is that it is well hidden. Chief, according to our investigation, there are indeed other forces within our ranks, and they are extremely well hidden. We can't even tell who is friend and who is foe, Agent Hill said with a bitter expression. I never imagined we'd been infiltrated so deeply. Project Paperclip, Project Paperclip. Chief, may I ask how you obtained this information? It was Mr. Lee who told me this. His wife was attacked by Hydra, so he told me the news in a fit of anger. Then why don't we ask him for help? Agent Hill asked. Let me think about it some more, Director Fury said helplessly, rubbing his nose. If he had a choice, he wouldn't want to ask Li Qingyue for help. A bar in Washington, D.C. Steve, Clint, and Natasha sat in a corner, leisurely drinking a bottle of Corona beer. Natasha, do you know why Fury called us back? Steve suddenly asked. I'm not sure, but I think something must have happened inside S.H.I.E.L.D. Why do you say that? Can't you see? First, they fired Tony on trumped-up charges. Then they provoked Banner, turning him into the Hulk and making him disappear without a trace. As for Thor, he's already back in Asgard. All of this is because they're not from S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm sure there's a problem within S.H.I.E.L.D., and Nick needs us to do something. As expected of the Black Widow, come with me. A white waiter said, placing a tray of snacks on the table. Upon hearing the familiar voice, everyone's expression changed slightly, but they quickly returned to normal. The three of them glanced at the white waiter as he entered the men's restroom. After a while, Steve and Clint got up and walked towards the men's restroom. A little while later, Natasha also got up and walked towards the restroom. However, when she made sure no one was watching, she slipped into the restroom. Then she carefully examined the toilet door and found a special mark. She walked over, wiped the mark off, and entered the toilet. After scanning around, she finally found the switch for the mechanism. She pressed it hard, and the laser was activated. The wall in front of her flipped over, revealing a recess that could accommodate one person. Natasha pressed herself against the recess, and as the mechanism flipped over, a clean white corridor appeared in front of her. Natasha strode forward, when suddenly a red laser blocked her way. Then a mechanical eye appeared, scanned Natasha's entire body, and said, "Agent Natasha Romanoff, welcome to the Phoenix Nest." Phoenix Nest? That's right. This signifies that S.H.I.E.L.D. is about to be reborn. The director has been waiting for a long time. I am Phoenix, the artificial intelligence of Phoenix Nest. Then a green arrow appeared, and Natasha followed it to the conference room, where she found Steve and the others already seated. "Natasha, you're here. Please have a seat," Clint said to Natasha. Natasha went straight to sit down next to him, and then looked at Director Fury. It's worth noting that Phoenix Nest is a base even they don't know about, which shows just how secretive it is. "Nick, what happened? Could it really be something wrong within S.H.I.E.L.D.? Director Fury nodded grimly and said, "That's right, there's a problem within S.H.I.E.L.D. An organization is lurking inside us. Why don't we just pull it out? Isn't that a piece of cake for us? This organization is called Hydra, and it has been infiltrating around the same time that S.H.I.E.L.D. was founded. The first group of people were scientists recruited through Project Paperclip. They were the first Hydra members to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D. They use brainwashing techniques to recruit members. Now, even I can't tell who the Hydra members are. You are the people I trust the most. I can guarantee that you are 100% safe. I can't be sure about the others. What about the staff here? They've been S.H.I.E.L.D. employees for 3 generations, and everything is under surveillance, so they are trustworthy. Since joining S.H.I.E.L.D., they've always done inconspicuous, even barely noticeable work, so few people have any contact with them. Their backgrounds are among the cleanest," Director Fury said calmly. "Hydra, it feels like it was just yesterday. What should we do next?" Steve asked Director Fury. "I don't know either. Based on my current deduction, about half, or even more, of the people in S.H.I.E.L.D. are Hydra agents. If we eliminate them all, the entire S.H.I.E.L.D. will be paralyzed. At that time, we will have to accept aid from various member states, which will result in people from all countries being spread throughout S.H.I.E.L.D. The consequences are self-evident. So you're saying there's nothing you can do right now?" Although Chief Fury was reluctant to admit it, he nodded nonetheless. Everyone fell silent. Then Clint spoke up. "Why don't we ask Mr. Lee for help? Do you think I haven't thought about it? He won't be able to take on any more cases in the short term. In that case, let's leave them alone for now. They've been around for a while now, so let them live a little longer. This will also be a good opportunity to see who's on our side and who's with Hydra. We'll start with the level 10 agents and work our way down. The more agents who know about this, the better it will be for us," Steve decided. "It seems this is the only way," Director Fury said helplessly. Of course, no one knew what he was secretly preparing. The group then immediately left, pretending nothing had happened. After all, this was Washington, D.C., the headquarters of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was also the headquarters of Hydra. Nobody knew if someone was watching them. Not long after they left, a figure sneaked into the bar's security room, copied the day's surveillance video, and left. After he left, Chief Fury appeared there. "It seems they've infiltrated too deeply. Who can I trust now? Phil, are you good or bad?" Director Fury murmured. Meanwhile, in the underground vault of a bank in Washington, a group of people were having a meeting. The leader was Alexander Pierce, the head of Hydra and a minister of the council, making him Director Fury's superior. The two were also very close friends. However, Director Fury never imagined that his friend was actually a head of Hydra. "Pierce, what happened that you called me here so urgently? The Winter Soldier has caused trouble. What trouble have you gotten yourself into? He hit the wife of the Marvel Studios boss and caused Marvel Studios to have its first failed job." Everyone was stunned when they heard this. "No, Pierce, you called us all here for such a trivial matter? Do you know that every meeting increases the chances of us being exposed? It's a trivial matter. Do you even know how valuable Marvel Studios is? Aside from their terrifying fighting power, they're also the world's #1 information broker. You know that. They even know we exist and can provide a detailed list. Do you know that?" Pierce roared, slamming his fist on the table in anger. Everyone was stunned, staring at the furious Pierce, and no one dared to say a word. "If he exposes us, we'll only have one outcome, a fight to the death with S.H.I.E.L.D., and our plan will fail. We'll be completely exposed to the public, and the victorious nations will never allow us to continue living. We'll have no choice but to remain in hiding, and all our efforts over the years will be in vain. Now do you realize how serious this is? So what should we do? Use all your connections to push for the establishment of Project Insight and complete it as quickly as possible, understand?" "Clear,"